The memory that I think of on our way to the hospital is just how like optimistic I was and how my guard was totally down. Like we went to the hospital, I didn't think that I was going into like an antagonizing situation. Actually, neither of us did. We thought that the hospital was going to be like a safe place, you know, with people who cared and understood, and that I would get kind of some respite. I would get like some time, you know, time to, I don't know, to kind of explore the state that I was in. That was the feeling that I got. And as we drove to the hospital, I was playing some music, and I had been listening to this tune by Tony Bennett. How Do You Keep the Music Playing? That was the title of the song. And one of the most magical qualities of this experience was that music and the lyrics in music were like perfectly timed to my own feelings and my own thoughts and my own circumstances. So like what I remember was that as the road turned, it would turn at the same time that the emotions in the lyrics of the music would turn. So it was like, I get emotional even talking about it, because it was like everything was in perfect harmony. Everything was like totally timed together. It was such a beautiful and magical experience. And so I was in that state. I was experiencing this like sense of oneness and just profound synchronicity. And I was living in that magic on our way to the hospital. And so it's emotional for me, because it was like I was in heaven, you know? And then when we got to the hospital, I was in hell. And it was this very, very abrupt transition from really like a very enjoyable sensation in myself to just abject fear and feeling like incredibly misunderstood. I mean, on one hand, I knew that I was going somewhere because I needed to be like taken care of. I had some sensation of that. But most of the vision that I had of going to the hospital before we got there was that I was going to be surrounded by really bright, educated people who were extremely interested in what I had to say, because I had all these ideas, and I thought that I was going to be surrounded by PhD kind of people with their notepads and their pens, and that they would just be furiously writing all of the brilliant ideas that were coming out of my mouth. That was what I envisioned. And so when I got there, and this is sort of true of the whole hospital experience, a lot of what I predicted came true, in the sense that I was surrounded by people with clipboards who furiously wrote down everything I said. But it wasn't out of curiosity, you know, and it wasn't out of support. They were writing those things down basically to bust me, you know. It was to collect evidence that I was crazy, as opposed to openly receiving ideas that might be useful for not only myself, but for them, as well as kind of the larger community.